The NASCAR Xfinity Series race has officially concluded from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and we see some pretty big chaos, some awesome racing up front, and Hunter Nemechek put up a dominating race and pick up his second straight victory. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race of New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Ambetter 200. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So, before the green flag drop in today's race, a ton of drivers had to drop at the rear of the field. This included Sammy Smith, Jeb Burton, Patrick Emmerling, Ryan Sieg, Gray Van Als, Roger Krupp, and Kaz Grala. Obviously, Kaz Grala and Ryan Sieg were involved in a crash in practice yesterday. They would have to go to the rear of the field. So at this our race, he had Chandler Smith, who won the pole, lead the field from the inside with Hunter Nemechek on the outside. And we saw Chandler Smith get a really strong run and was able to clear for the lead for a lap. But then Justin Allgaier, he got a strong run the next lap and was able to pass Chandler Smith for the lead. Then we saw John Hunter get a really strong run on Justin Allgaier, and he was able to pass for the race lead, and a really great battle going on, and was still able to hold up. And then a few laps later, John Hunter was able to pass Justin for the race lead. Then as the run went on, we saw some really good racing up front, but eventually Justin Allgaier, around lap 29, was able to pass John Hunter Nemechek for the race lead. He got him a little bit loose, it caught traffic, but eventually Justin Allgaier was able to pull away. And on lap 42, the first caution race to come out for Chris Hacker, who just got loose and spun out down the backstretch and would spin and get some damage and got a flat tire, bringing the caution out. Because of this, the caution would end stage 1 with Justin Allgaier winning stage 1 at New Hampshire. Meanwhile, Roger Krupp, unfortunately, had an oil line that basically broke on his car and basically had to come down pit road. But like I said, Justin Allgaier won stage 1. Then cars would come down pit road with Justin Allgaier taking 2 tires after having a terrible pit stop. And basically, he would actually get a penalty for basically pitting outside of the box because of it. Also, Sammy Smith and Joe Graf Jr. were penalized for speeding on pit road as well. And then Justin Allgaier came back down pit road to put on the other 2 tires now to make sure he had 4 fresh tires. So on the restart, Chandler Smith lead the field from the outside with Hunter Nemechek on the inside. And Hunter Nemechek got a really strong restart and was able to pass Chandler Smith for the race lead. As John Hunter was starting to pull away on lap 65, the third caution race, actually the second caution race, would come out for Chad Fincham, who stalled in the middle of pit road after having engine issues and would bring the caution out. Then on the next restart, you had Hunter Nemechek lead the field from the outside and Chandler Smith on the inside, and we saw a massive pileup take place on the restart. Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith checked the field up, but they went in when they're supposed to. They went at the end of the second line, and it all got checked up, and no one had anywhere to go. And Park Clearman got a ton of damage in that, and a bunch of cars started wrecking behind it, including Justin Allgaier, Blaine Perkins, Mason Massey, Jeremy Clements, Ryan Sieg, Parker Retzlaff, Chris Hacker, Patrick Emmerling, Jeremy Clements, Anthony Alfredo, and Alex Abey were all involved in the big wreck. I don't know if John Hunter really is to blame for that. He did check up the field trying to play games. Ryan Sieg was not really happy with John Hunter as he got interviewed later in the race. But I don't blame John Hunter completely, though I think he was playing a little bit of games, and Chandler Smith was also frustrated about it as well. But John Hunter was in control of the lead, so therefore I guess he isn't to blame. But I think it's just a big mistake on everybody else's. They untime the restart. We have these long straightaways. You can untime the restarts, unfortunately, and it can cause big stack-ups. So then on the next restart, you had Hunter Nemechek lead the field from the outside with Chandler Smith on the inside. And we saw Hunter Nemechek get a really strong restart and was able to clear for the race lead. A few laps later, we saw Connor Mosack spin off of turn number 2 and hit the outside wall, get loose going to turn number 2, and he brought the caution out and got a ton of damage. Then we saw some strategy where guys like Hunter Nemechek, Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, and Brian Moffitt came down pit road, while guys like Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, Joe Graf Jr., Austin Dillon all decided to stay out with strategy as they pitted under the previous caution. Then we went back racing lap 89 with Parker Retzlaff leading the field from the outside with Sammy Smith on the inside, and Parker Retzlaff spun the tires but really gave up a really strong run, trying to fight really hard to beat Sammy Smith. Eventually, Sammy Smith was able to clear Parker Retzlaff and was able to pull away, and coming off the final corner, Sammy Smith would win stage number 2. Then during the caution, we saw Parker Retzlaff, Josh Williams, Kyle Weatherman, Jeremy Clements, Blaine Perkins all come down pit road, while the rest later stayed out. So then on the restart, Sammy Smith lead the field from the outside with Sheldon Creed on the inside, and Sammy Smith got a strong restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Then a few laps later, trouble strike for Riley Herbst, who drove right across Austin Dillon's nose and pretty much wrecked himself and hit the outside wall and got a ton of damage. He got hooked, unfortunately, by Austin Dillon. I understand people were going to blame Austin Dillon for that, but in my personal opinion, that was on Riley Herbst. He made a big mistake. He came up across his nose, just a misjudgment, and wrecked himself, bringing the caution out. So then went back racing on 108 with Sammy Smith leading the field from the outside with John Nemechek on the inside. And Sammy Smith got a really, really strong restart, but he got really, really loose. And John Nemechek was able to pass Sammy Smith for the race lead and started pulling out to a pretty massive lead. Then we started having green flag pit stops at 55 laps to go. Sheldon Creed would come down pit road first. Then Sammy Smith came down pit road the next lap. Then Josh Berry came down. Then the next lap we saw Brandon Jones and Brett Moffitt pit. Then John Nemechek, Cole Custer, Austin Hill pitted. And eventually John Nemechek was able to blend back out and had the race lead. Then we had a little bit of strategy going on with guys like Joe Graf Jr. and, of course, others like Austin Dillon staying out. And then with 41 laps to go, the race would completely change when Kyle Seek spun in turn number 4 after contact with Josh Berry, bringing the caution back out. That's a mistake on Josh Berry's part. Kyle Seek was trying to also pass Kyle Weatherman and get around him, but the caution would come out because of that. Then we saw the guys who had not pitted during the previous run, that being Austin Dillon, Joe Graf Jr., Justin Allgaier, Josh Williams, Mason Massey, would all basically come down pit row. Well, and unfortunately, Joe Graf Jr. had a terrible pit stop and had a severe angle after sliding the tires coming into pit road, and unfortunately was costing him a shot at an opportunity at a win. So then on the next restart, he had John Nemechek lead the field from the outside with Sammy Smith on the inside. And Sammy Smith got a really, really bad and terrible restart, which sent everybody 3 and 4 wide. You had Chandler Smith go to the inside, send it 4 wide, and get into Brandon Jones. Sheldon Creed got a ton of damage. And unfortunately, Josh Berry got a tire and basically a tire fender issue. Really a big mistake, in my opinion, by Chandler Smith sending it 4 wide there, but all Sammy Smith checked everybody up, so I can't really blame him there. But a lot of drivers had lost a chance and a shot to have a chance to victory. Then the race would stay green for a very, very long time, where he had John Nemechek had the lead with Cole Custer in second, and Cole Custer was trying to run his way down, but there was not going to be enough time to catch him before the end. But then the race would change with 10 laps to go when Parker Ratzlaff spun from 14th position after losing a right rear tire. Just got loose going to turn number 1 with the issue, hit the outside wall really, really hard, bringing the caution out. And then with 4 laps to go, we went back racing with John Nemechek leading the field from the outside and Cole Custer on the inside. And Sammy Smith had a terrible restart and spun the tires and stacked up the field and caused a pretty big accident when Sammy Smith got at the inside of Sam Mayer and turned him, and multiple drivers had nowhere to go in the wreck, including Sammy Smith, Joe Graf Jr., Austin Dillon, Brandon Jones, and Connor Mosek, all getting massive damage in the crash, bringing the caution out. Then my opinion is on Sammy Smith. I know Sammy had a terrible restart, but that was on him, and he made the big mistake bringing the caution out. And then we go to the final restart of the race with John Nemechek leading the field from the outside with Cole Custer on the inside, and Chandler Smith would take the outside of the second row as well. We go back racing, and John Nemechek with a really strong restart with Chandler Smith in second position. As they're coming down the front stretch to take the white flag, Sheldon Creed sent it to the bottom, trying to get the third position on the inside of Cole Custer. He tried to pass him, but unfortunately, Sheldon Creed came up into Cole Custer, and then Cole Custer turned to the left, got loose, and turned him into the outside wall, bringing the final caution out of the race, and unfortunately caught up a bunch of drivers, including Riley Herbst and Josh Williams, had nowhere to go. Because of that, as they took the white flag, the caution came out, and John Nemechek would come out the final corner under caution and get his 4th win of the 2023 season and go back-to-back as well. First of all, hope everyone's okay after the wreck, but massive congratulations, John Nemechek. John Nemechek absolutely had the best car all day, dominated this race. Especially after what happened to Justin Allgaier and what happened to him, I think that was his only competition that was going to happen. John Hunter assumed control of this race and put up a dominating clinic. I think you have to look at John Nemechek probably as a favorite right now to win the championship, getting 4 wins and going back-to-back, and it seems like this 20 team is really fast, extremely consistent, and a great day for John Hunter, dominating, leading 139, 140 laps. A great day nonetheless, and the most dominant run John Hunter's had this season. Huge congratulations to John Hunter Nemechek on picking up the victory. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the race results. I'll give you my score of today's race. Keep in mind these results might not be the same after because they're still doing a review of the results. So John Nemechek picks up the victory. Chandler Smith finishes second. Chandler Smith had a top 5 car or maybe a top 3 car pretty much all day long. They had a really strong run. I feel like Chandler Smith is becoming a stronger driver as the year progresses. He's been getting faster and faster, and nonetheless a great day for Chandler Smith in second place. Austin Hill finishes third. Austin Hill struggled early in the day, but as the race continued, he got better and better and gets a very solid top 5 finish. Great run from Austin Hill. They've struggled on the short tracks in both their Cup program and Xfinity program, so great day for Austin Hill in third place. Daniel Hemrick finished his 4th. Great comeback for Daniel Hemrick, who struggled throughout the day. Got some damage in the big stack up, but nonetheless gets a very solid top 5 run. Great run for Daniel Hemrick. Sammy Smith finishes fifth. Sammy Smith really, I think, had the best car at the end that could have contended with John Hunter Nemechek, but unfortunately, like I said, had that terrible restart that cost him a shot and an opportunity. But he does get a very solid top 5 finish. Great run for Sammy Smith, who had to start at the rear of the field. Justin Allgaier finished 6th. This is really impressive considering he had a ton of damage on the car, had damage on the front, and damage on the rear from the big stack up. He's able to rebound and finish 6th. Like I said, I think he had something for John Hunter if he doesn't have all that damage, but he does get a very solid top 10 and 6th place. Great run for Justin Allgaier. Jeb Burton finished 7th. Great run for Jeb Burton. Ran top 20 all day long and gets a very solid top 10 finish. Great run for Jeb Burton. Josh Williams as an out finishes 8th. I'm not sure if that's going to continue to be the same, but if he does finish in the top 10 and 8th, great run for him in 8th place. A much-needed run. Second straight top 10 if he does stay in 8th. Brett Moffitt finishes 9th. A fantastic run for Brett Moffitt. He ran top 12 or top 13 all day. Great run for him. And Mason Massey finishes in 10th. Great run for Mason Massey, and that's a really awesome run for Mason Massey in SS Greenlight Racing, though I think Patrick Emerling ends up finishing in 10th. We'll have to wait for the results to change, though. Brandon Jones finishes 11th. Very, very good run for Brandon Jones today. Ran top 10, top 15, and really had a solid run. Alex Bay finishes in 12th. Solid run for him. Cass Grawl finishes 13th. Patrick Emerling, I think, will be credited with 10th, but as of now, he's currently 14th at the moment, but the results are expected to change. Jeremy Collins finishes in 15th. Austin Dillon finished 16th, had a top 10 car. Had a mistake where Riley Herbst had got him some damage, but nonetheless finishes in the top 20. Josh Berry finished 17th. He was actually my pick coming this race. He was really strong early, but the car kind of fell off near the end. Just struggled near the end of the race with the tire rub as well. He finishes in 17th. Sam Mayer finished 18th. What a car he could have had. Sam Mayer had a car that instantly could have finished in the top 5, but after the crash on the restart, cost him a shot and opportunity to go for a top 5. Ryan Ellis finishes 19th. Riley Hurt 19th. Riley Hurts finished 20th. Riley Hurts does stay out. Another race where they could have benefited. He made a mistake and cost him a shot, a good run. He finished 20th. Sheldon Creed finished 21st. Sheldon Creed had a good car as well, but after the crash, he finished 21st. Cole Custer finished 22nd. I think Cole Custer had a top 2 or top 3 car near the end of the race, but unfortunately, this mistake on the front stretch, it cost him and Sheldon Creed a great run. Just a big mistake by both those drivers. He finished 22nd. Kyle C. finished 23rd. Brendan Poole finished 24th. Blaine Perkins finished 25th. Connor Mosack, after crashing out multiple times, he finished 26th. Kyle Weatherman finished 27th. CJ McLaughlin finished 28th. Joe Graff Jr., who had a really solid run. I want to give him a shout out. He ran top 5 and top 10 a lot of day. Granted, he struggled early, but he did improve as day progressed and gets a 29th place finish. It's a shame because I think he had a car that could have finished top 5 or top 10, but nonetheless, he finished 29th. And Chris Hacker finished 30th. Parker Retzlaff finished 31st. Parker Kligerman, after crashing out, finished 32nd. Ryan C. finished 33rd. Anthony Alfredo finished 34th. Chad Finch finished 35th. Seven Parsons finished 36th. Roger Crew finished 37th. And finishing last in 38th place is Gray Van Als. So now, let's talk about the race overall, and I'll give you my score of today's race. Stage 1 was absolutely amazing from start to finish. You had great racing up front between Chandler Smith, Justin Allgaier and John Hunter Nemechek, and then eventually great racing between both Justin Allgaier and John Hunter Nemechek. I thought the first 30 or 35 laps were absolutely outstanding. Then in stage 2, it kind of calmed down a little bit, but you also had the big stack up that changed everything. And I think it then kind of calmed down and became a standard race at New Hampshire. But at the end of the race, you had some solid racing up front. For me, I'm going to give today's race overall an 8 out of 10. It was a very solid, actually, I give this race an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a very solid race overall. I know people are going to probably lower the score basically due to them throwing the caution, but you have to throw the caution at the end of the race in that situation. My score is an 8.5 out of 10. So, that is good for today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Notifications on us when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links are over that, and comment your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below, and congratulate John Hunter Nemechek on picking up the victory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, I have 2024 NASCAR schedule predictions dropping on the channel in the morning. If the NASCAR Cup Series race does indeed end up happening, there should be a race review. If not, I don't think there's going to be a race review. Probably a video talking about the postponement. Then on Monday, if the race does not end up happening, there should be a Cup Series race review from New Hampshire out on the channel. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.